Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Varun Tahin. In the previous videos, we have seen how to extract data from various sources and clean them using Pandas library. Now in this video, we will try to handle specific use cases wherein we need to tamper with date and time to suit our specific needs. So this video will focus more on working with date-time objects and convert them to specific formats so as to standardize the dates in our data. As we all know, it is essential to work with time-related objects when working with data, and thus when the need arises to make things simpler for the clients or even for our use cases, we need to have a tool or library which can do all the tedious tasks to convert those objects. But in Python, date and time are not data types of its own, but a module named datetime can be imported to work with date as well as time. So datetime module comes inbuilt with Python, so there is no need to install it externally, and datetime module supplies classes to work with date and time. So these classes provide a number of functions to deal with dates, times and time intervals. Now date and time are an object in Python, so when you manipulate them, you are actually manipulating objects and not strings or timestamps. Now the datetime classes are categorized into 6 main classes, which are date, which is an idealized naive date assuming the current Gregorian calendar always was and always will be in effect. Its attributes are year, month and a day. Now second one is time. It's an idealized time independent of any particular day, assuming that every day has exactly 246060 seconds. Its attributes are hour, minute, second, microsecond and TZ info. Now the third one is date time. So it's a combination of date as well as time along with attributes year, months, day, hour, minute, second, microsecond and TZ info. Now the fourth one is time delta, which is a duration expressing the difference between two date time instances and which has resolution of microseconds. Now comes TZ info. So TZ info provides time zone information objects, and then comes time zone, which is a class that implements the TZ info abstract base class, which has a fixed offset from UTC time zone. Now let me give you guys an official documentation of datetime objects. So this link I'll be giving in description also. So when you go here, you will have the official documentation along with the methods which you can use like time delta and others. So you can go through it after this session. Now coming back, we'll try and build some examples here by importing the datetime object and the time zone object, and by taking simpler use cases, try and explore some of the important methods provided by datetime. Now let's import datetime and time zone objects. So I'll say import datetime as dt and import by tz as tz. Okay, so this is alias I am using for datetime and time zone. Okay, now let's say that we want to check what is the current date. So either we can give the current date with YYYY and dd as the format, okay, inside the datetime.date object, and it will give us the current date object. Or either we can use a shortcut wherein we'll just specify this current date equals to dt dot date dot today. Okay, so when we say today, Python will understand and it will return us the today's date. Okay, so let's compare this also. So let me check what is this returning. So instead of 07 we will say 7, and then we will do this. Okay, I'll print both of these. Okay, so here you will see that it is returning the exact date, which is today's date. Now there are some functions in datetime which will return an integer value corresponding to day of the week. So let's check those also. So one of them is datetime object dot weekday. Okay, so when I print this, you will see it is returning 0. So 0 means Monday. Okay, and subsequent days after that is incremented by 1. So Tuesday is 1 and then Wednesday is 2. So likewise Sunday will be 6. Okay, and there is another method here which is current date dot ISO weekday. Okay, so this is returning 1. Notice here guys that unlike the date.weekday function, this function returns the value 1 for Monday and increments it 1 by 1 for the subsequent days. So either one you can use as per your use case, and you can also tally it that today's date is 12th, which is a Monday. Now let's move on to time delta. So this is the documentation for this. So when you go here, it says a time delta object represents a duration, the difference between two dates or times. Okay, so let's move and try and create one example. So I'll say current date plus dt dot time delta. Okay, so here what I am doing is I am adding 7 days to the current date. So here I will pass days equals to 7 and assign it to some object which is future date. Now when I do this, you guys will see that it has given 2021 7/19. So today is 12th as we have seen here, and it has given us date of future when we added 7 days to the current date. So likewise we can do the addition and subtraction of days, months, weeks, anything from the current date or from any dates. So let's check one more example. So let's say that we want to set a new date and check the difference between the current date and that date. So here I will give some future date. So I'll say new dt equals to dt dot date, and I'll give 2021 comma 9. So I'm giving 2 months past the current date. Okay. Let me print this out and then let me take the difference. So till date equals to new dt minus current date. So when I print this, you will see that it has returned us the time delta object with days equals to 62. So these many days are remaining from the current date to reach to this date which we have given. Okay, then if we want to fetch only the days and not the date and not the time delta object, then simply we need to do till date dot days. So it will give you the days which is 62. Now likewise we can print out the seconds also. So we can do that via total seconds method. So these many seconds are there. Now let's say that we want to work only with the time objects. Okay, so we can specify the time inside dot time method, and we can get that object also. So I'll say new underscore tm equals to dt dot time, and I'll give the time here. So this will be in hour, minutes and seconds and microseconds. Okay, let me print this. Okay, now this is printed the time object. Now let us get r from it. Okay, so it is just simpler to say dot r and get that. Okay, so this is the 12th hour. Now we can also create a date time object by specifying all the dates, times and microseconds, everything at one shot. Okay, so that is done by creating an object here. That will be new date time, I will say, and I'll say dt dot date time, and we can give the details here. Okay, so this will be fed at one shot, and then when you execute it, you will see that this object is created. Now we can fetch various things from it like year, month, date and all. Okay, so when I do dot year, it will fetch me 2021. Okay, so this will be YYYY MM DD HH MM SS. Okay, so this will be hour, minutes and seconds, and this will be microseconds. Now at times we have to work with different time zones also. So in order to change the time zones, we have different methods in date time. Okay, so let's get local date time first. So I'll say dt dot date time dot now. Okay, and I'll assign it to dt tm now. Okay, so this will give us the local date time. Now if I want to convert this to UTC date time, it will be simpler to say, instead of now, I'll just say UTC now. Okay, and this will be again TM now. So you will see here the timestamp will be changed and it will be converted to UTC time. So you can even tally this time by going to Google and just searching for epoch time. Okay, so there will be epoch converter, and the first link will redirect you to this site which will give you the UTC timestamp. Okay, when you click this, it will give you the UTC time also. So this GMT is nothing but your UTC timestamp. So you can see here 8:32 12th July. It is 8:32 12th July. Now when we want to work with the specific time zones, we need to check first what all time zones are available with this date time. Okay, so for that we need to simply traverse this. So there is tz object which we have already imported, okay, from the PyTZ. So we'll say dot all time zones. Okay, so when we want to see all of it, we'll just iterate it using for loop. So I'll say for time zone in tz dot all time zones, and I'll return this time zone. So this is a list comprehension, and I'll just assign it to all tz. Sorry, there's a typo here. So it is all underscore time zone. Okay, so you will get all the time zones from here and you can select either one of it. Now let's take one example of UTC time zone and also convert it to another time zones. Okay, so I will take date dot date time object. Okay, particularly this thing. Okay, and inside tz info, I'll just specify tz dot UTC. Okay, now I'll put it inside tz.dt.tm. Okay, so this has returned me UTC timestamp of this date time. Now for the similar date time, we will calculate giving just the different time zone. So I'll say dot as time zone and then give tz dot time zone. Okay, and here I will supply time zone as US Arizona. So when I give this, you guys will see that it will be having different time. Okay, so the previous one returned me 13/7/2021. So this part was exactly the same, but from this part you will see that the hours here were 7, but the hour here became 0. Okay, so this specifies that Arizona is 7 hours behind the UTC time zone. Now at times we need to convert the datetime object to strings, okay, in order to persist it somewhere. So for that there is some method called as strf time that we can use, and that will intake the datetime format. Okay, so I will create the now object. So I'll say dt underscore tm underscore now, and for today's date I will do dt.day.today. Okay, and here I'll say date str. Okay, to create this in string format, so I'll take the similar object and do strf time. Okay, and here I will provide the format for it. So I'll say %m slash %d slash capital Y, comma %h colon %m colon %s. So guys, this means that I want date in format separated by slashes, with month coming first, followed by date and then the year, and then time coming after the comma. So hours will come separated by colon and followed by month, and then separated by colon followed by seconds. So when I print this, you will observe that the format for it is changed and now it is string. I can convert this again to datetime object. So I just need to do dt.datetime.strp time. So this function will again convert this to datetime object. Okay, and here let's say that I want different format. So instead of month coming as first, I will say date will come as first and then followed by month. So you will observe here that this has converted to datetime object again. So guys, this brings us to end of today's session. Please like, share and subscribe if you like my content. I'll be coming up with more awesome content on data science in upcoming sessions. So stay tuned. Until then, please stay safe and healthy. Thank you and take care.